You need a renewed sense of color in order to travel here. The red Sahara spreads endlessly before you. When the tightly sealed doors open, you are greeted with a green world. The capital of the Old Kingdom, which retains its scenery of the Middle Ages, shines golden. The people, like openness of the blue sea, welcome strangers with open arms. Various colors coexist and create mystical beauty. This is Morocco, a brilliant light. You have to make a connection in another country because there are no non-stop flights to Morocco from Korea. It took about 20 hours for me to reach Casablanca, Morocco, with a transfer in Dubai in between. Morocco is located on the northwestern reaches of Africa and sits across the Mediterranean Sea from Europe. My first destination in search of a red-hued Morocco is Marrakesh. Morocco is among the Islamic nations in Africa, in which 99% of its citizens are Muslim. Travelers can experience its unique Islamic culture anywhere in Morocco. There is an Islamic mosque in the center of Marrakesh, the biggest tourist city in Morocco.
마라케시의 상징 쿠두비아 사원입니다. 굉장히 높죠. 마라케시 전역에서 볼 수 있는 77m에 달하는 미나렛이 있는 곳인데요. 12세기에 건축된 이슬람 사원의 어떤 상징적인 장소이죠.
In 2009, I traveled all over the world for a year instead of preparing for employment. This is my second visit to Marrakesh since then. It's a great landmark that indicates the city center for travelers like me. At about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a sound rings from the minaret. It is the Adhan, the call to worship heard 5 times a day. When people hear the Adhan, they either go to a mosque or pray facing Mecca, the Islamic holy land from where they are. It's a pity, but you can't enter the mosque unless you're Muslim. Now I'm heading across from the mosque.
와, 저 앞에 굉장히 많은 인파가 모여 있어요. 한번 가볼까요?
This is Jemma El Fana, also known as the Festival Square. It is the heart of Marrakesh travel. This place is a market in the morning and a theater during the day. It turns back into a brilliant night market in the evening. The night market is full of energy. Hundreds of food stalls welcome customers with many different foods. You can eat anything here except for pork and liquor, which is religiously prohibited. Morocco is located on the African continent, but it has been influenced historically and geographically by Europe, which evokes a great diversity of food. The vendors working to lure customers offer yet another attraction. Oh, what to eat. My mouth is already watering from the scent of food that has completely filled the night market.
와, 양머리하고 염소 고기로 만든 따진입니다. 이슬람. 양의 혀도 있고요.
I also ordered lamb tagine, made with vegetables and various spices and meat.
이렇게 빵을 뜯어서 이렇게 빵으로.
What does it taste like?
맛있어요. 뭐 비린내가 나거나 냄새도 안 나고.
The meal was even tastier thanks to the Moroccan friend who was sitting next to me. This time, I'm going to try a specialty of the Moroccan night markets. The dish is served even before I'm seated. And yes, these are snails.
모양이 굉장히 예쁜데 우리 예전에 먹던 소라를 연상하게 하네요.
I'm a bit hesitant, knowing that they're snails.
보기엔 달팽이가 그대로 보여도 네, 맛은 괜찮습니다.
It has a chewy texture, and the broth, which has a spicy flavor due to the black pepper, is delicious. The young women next to me are drinking the broth with gusto.
I'm from Korea. Yeah. Where are you from?
Morocco. I don't speak English, español.
Español. Habla español.
Sí, perfectamente.
Como ciudad donde.
Yo de Tánger, ella de Marrakech.
Tánger.
Sí.
Ah, sí.
Ella de Marrakech, aquí.
Marrakesh. Aquí. Does Moroccan people like this place in Marrakesh? I think everyone's coming in.
Yes, they're coming from a lot of another cities like Casablanca, Tangier, or Rabat. And Marrakech is like a tourist city, you know, for Morocco.
Even king as well.
Yes.
Marrakesh is a place where Moroccans, as well as foreign tourists, wish to visit once in their lives. My first night in Morocco deepens. Interestingly, the buildings in Marrakesh are all red. By law, they are only permitted to construct red buildings.
A red city, yes, of course. Because the mountains, the high Atlas, they have some color, the red color. When we take away for what is that, you can see every mountains, they have same color.
Atlas Mountains overlooks Marrakesh. A red-tinted landscape continues from Marrakesh to the Atlas Mountains, and beyond them to the Sahara Desert. In order to explore the red-tinted landscape better, I go outside of the city and head for Ait Ben Hadou, located midway up the Atlas Mountains. Do you see the ice-capped Atlas Mountains in the distance? The Atlas Mountain Range, which begins in southern Morocco, is a grand landscape that continues into Algeria and Tunisia. The highest peak is 4,160 meters above sea level. Rugged mountains higher than 2,000 meters on average continue. But suddenly it begins to snow. This is my second visit to Morocco, but I never dreamed I'd encounter snow. On top of that, evidently there are snowstorms at times.
Parce que parfois, la route il est coupée par la neige et il faut attendre. Il faut attendre ou bien il faut dormir dans des auberges. Il y a des auberges spéciales pour ce temps-là.
아틀라스 산맥을 넘어가는 길인데요. 넘어서 사막까지 가야 되는데 길이 미끄럽거나 눈이 너무 많이 쌓여서 갈 수가 없으면 길이 막힌답니다. 그 길이 뭐 뚫릴 예정이 정해져 있는 것도 아니고 가지 못하게 될까봐 좀 걱정이네요.
As a matter of fact, the road to the Sahara Desert was under regulation because there was too much snow early last month. I get a sudden urge to go out and see what it's like outside.
눈이 많이 쌓였네요.
I thought perpetual snow in Africa only existed in Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. This is an unbelievable sight, even though I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
해발 고도도 굉장히 높아 보이고 아프리카에 이런 곳이 있을 줄은 정말 몰랐네요.
The snow is combined with rain and turned into little flecks of hail.
물이 따가울 정도로 얼음 알갱이가 그냥 온 얼굴을 강타하고 있습니다.
Perhaps traveling means breaking the prejudices that I harbor. I'm full of anticipation at what other secret landscapes in Africa will unfold before me. Fortunately, the sky clears and the sun reemerges. It has been 5 hours since we departed Marrakesh. We finally arrive at Ait Ben Haddou. Built in the 11th century, Ait Ben Haddou is an architectural structure and is designed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It became known as a Hollywood film set for films like Lawrence of Arabia and Gladiator, and rose to fame as an international tourist attraction. This architectural structure is called a Kasbah, which is a residential space as well as a fortress. Hassan, native to this town, has agreed to be my guide.
In their village, we have 5 Kasbah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 over there.
3 there
Yeah.
and 2 in
The
other
other
side.
side. Ah,
Yes.
okay.
And after you have 61 small house.
61 house.
Yes, small.
Ah.
The small, it's
Yeah.
house, normal.
Ait Ben Haddou is located mid-hill up the Atlas Mountains, a trading base that passes through the Sahara, Marrakesh, and on to southern Morocco. The merchants made a lot of money and began to build houses to protect their riches. A unique characteristic is how several houses were combined to form one Kasbah, like an apartment complex.
Yeah.
Like taking this back and go.
The fortress was built by the Berber people, Moroccan natives, using traditional methods. They mix straw and the red clay from the Atlas Mountains to make the walls thick and strong.
한국이랑 굉장히 유사해요. 이제 이 붉은 점토를 가지고 그냥 만들면 비가 오거나 했을 때 무너질 수 있으니까 이 지푸라기를 섞어서 벽을 만든다고 하네요.
If you rain,
랭.
the water, no problem. If you
Right.
have straw. If you no straw, it's problem. Broken.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This Kasbah is said to have belonged to the richest person in Ait Ben Haddou.
Their place, first time making canalization for water.
Canalizations. 아직도 수로에 계속 물이 흐르고 있어요.
It has been designed meticulously, making life possible without leaving the Kasbah. Most Kasbahs were constituted of approximately 6 houses coexisting, and each house was connected like ant tunnels. Another characteristic are the windows placed in the ceilings so that people can't see in from the outside. I guess there were a lot of thieves who were after the merchants' fortunes.
What you have,
Okay.
small place.
아. Looking out.
Yeah, looking from there every direction.
아. 막루군요, 막루. 사방 어디에서도 오는 사람들을 볼 수 있는 그런 장소입니다.
Every family making some.
It secures a good view thanks to the high elevation.
Just now renovate.
You can assume what an important trading center this region was long ago. Today, most natives have left the Kasbahs for a more convenient life, and only 8 households remain. Artists have started occupying the empty abodes. I meet an artist who depicts the red-hued Ait Ben Haddou in his paintings.
Are you coming from here?
Yes,
Born in
origin.
here?
Yes, origin from here. Berber, yes.
Your
This-
father, grandfather.
Yes, here is.
He lives in the city outside of the Kasbahs for his children's education and uses this place as his studio.
I like this place because here is not very quiet.
Very
For-
quiet.
Yes,
Yeah.
for work.
Mm-hmm.
Quarrel, yes.
But his methodology is very interesting.
Magic.
아, 신기한데요?
It's like this.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yes. After color is fixed. Black color is tea, yellow is saffron. All the picture here is sign.
I follow the sound of music to the roof of the Kasbah.
풍류를 즐기고 계십니다.
It looks like a guitar and also a drum. This is gimbri, a traditional African instrument.
아, 흥겨운데요. 악기가 갖고 있는 저 줄하고 이 안쪽에는 가죽을 대서 드럼처럼 두드리면서 현을 튕기는 두 가지를 동시에 할 수 있는 악기입니다.
This music that is played with a gimbri and a traditional Moroccan instrument known as a kwab is called Nawa music. From a city of merchants to a city that inspires artists, Ait Ben Hadu continues to change. In that process, new cultures and traditions are created, and the layers of time accumulate with beauty. The road continues to the Atlas Mountains. About 200 million years ago, wrinkles formed in the strata due to movement of the Earth's crust and became a fold structure. This is why there are so many cliffs and valleys. After traveling a long while along the road at the bottom of the cliffs, an interesting landscape greets me. A group of rocks stand like a bunch of bananas.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Monkey's hand.
Monkey's hand.
Yes.
아,
Yeah, are you?
the hands.
Yes, yes. Like
아, yeah, right.
monkey's hand.
아하. 이렇게 손가락처럼 생기긴 했네요. 야, 와, 정말 장관인데요. 바로 아래 이렇게 물이 흐르는 마을까지 있어서. 야.
After hearing his explanation, I realize how much they resemble monkey fingers, the way the tips of the rocks are stubby. It isn't well known to us, but it is a famous natural attraction in Morocco and is designated as a National Natural Heritage Site. The precipice along the road gets steeper, and the road also swerves sharply according to the shape of the cliffs. This is Taj Ha Gorge, a mysterious land that Earth created 200 million years ago. The vertical rock face is a grand 500 meters. The road zigzags in a dizzying way in along the valley. The Dades River runs between the canyon, which turns into powerful rapids during the rainy season, making the gorge even deeper. If you go 95 kilometers northeast of the Dades Gorge, you will find another magnificent spectacle. It is Taj Ha Gorge. The steep cliff is 300 meters high. The width between the walls is only about 9 meters. The red earth unveils itself in the deep, narrow canyon, which forbids a single ray of light to enter.
지층이 솟아오르면서 갈라진 틈이 그대로 보이는데요. 정말 장엄한 자연의 경이를 그대로 실감할 수 있습니다.
Unfathomable to the limits of man, 200 million years of Earth's time unfolds before me. However, there is something else that the people are mesmerized with. Some people are climbing the near vertical cliff, relying on a single rope.
와, 보이시나요? 저 위에 두 분이 진정한 암벽 등반을 하고 있습니다. 심지어 여자분들이에요.
Seeing the brave women makes me want to give it a try too.
Right here, Hotel Navali.
Yeah.
I walk in Hotel Asmin, 500 meters.
Okay.
Various rock climbing courses are available in the gorge based on each person's level. I have rock climbed as a hobby for quite a long time. However, I choose the safest beginner's course, as this is my first time here.
대학 때 자주 했었는데 굉장히 오랜만에 해보니까 나름 긴장되는데요.
This gorge is especially popular among European travelers who prefer experiencing and exploring.
스페인이나 독일, 이탈리아, 프랑스 여러 나라에서 암벽 등반을 하러 많이들 온다고 합니다. 그래서 저도 이 첫 번째 코스에 한번 도전해 보겠습니다. 진짜 암벽 등반보다는 이런 발 거 짚을 수 있는 안전장치가 되어 있어서 사실 오르는데 그렇게 어려움은 없습니다.
I started out confidently, thanks to the metal pins that have been driven into the cliff at stride's length.
생각보다 코스가 만만치 않은데요?
This experience reminds me that you should never take nature for granted. The incline is steep. On top of that, it's been a while since I've done this. My body doesn't move the way I wish it would. Step by step, I come 150 meters above sea level before I know it. Now for the final tough spot. I can reach my destination just by crossing the tightrope that hangs dizzyingly between the high precipices.
Yes.
I have my safety hooks on either side of me, but my legs are still shaking. And finally,
This is the last. The last.
Is it last?
Good.
Good.
We are finished the first
Wow.
Via Ferrata in Morocco.
Great.
First Via Ferrata in Morocco and in Africa also.
와. 정말 굉장한데요, 여기?
the Atlas Mountains got its name from Greek mythology's Atlas, the Titan who held up the heavens. In ancient times, people believed that the sky didn't fall because the mountains were holding it up. I guess I'm sitting somewhere around Atlas's knee. Hassan, the guide who helped me climb, has invited me back to his shop for some tea.
Only water. Only water after when water it's good to be the plants.
The plant.
Yes, this is the plants. We are taking the plants from the mountain. This. We wash them now. We want to wash them.
Procuring the leaves from his back pocket, Hassan just picked these tea leaves on his way down from the rocks.
My brother. No, China.
I'm told that the herbs are not only tasty as tea, but they are good for your health. He adds mint leaves to the clean water along with the freshly picked herbs and boils them.
Make this sugar.
Once they have boiled sufficiently, he adds sugar and brings it to another boil. However, it isn't done yet. He pours the tea into a cup and pours it back into the pot, repeating this several times until the sugar is entirely dissolved and the water is at a suitable temperature. Finally, Hassan has finished making the tea after much care.
아, 좀 쌉쌀한 맛이 더 강하고요. 그 방금 따온 그 풀잎의 향이 그대로 배어 있어서 그냥 지금까지 먹던 차들하고는 조금 다른 향이 납니다.
I am told that the Berber people rejuvenate themselves by drinking hot tea even in the heat.
힘든 산행 후에 마시는 차 한 잔 느낌 있는데요. Much. Have a good time.
Good luck.
Bye.
Good luck, my friend.
With Hassan's gracious hospitality and the energy from the Titan who holds up the heavens, I'm now going to cross over the Atlas Mountains to the Red Sahara Desert. After examining the red underbelly of Atlas, from Ait Ben Haddou to the gorges of the Atlas Mountains, I'm off to Arfad, where the Sahara Desert begins. The Sahara begins in Morocco and leads up to the Nile. The latitudinal width alone is 5,600 kilometers, making the Sahara the world's largest desert. It's a barren land where life cannot survive. Nonetheless, numerous travelers dream of going to the Sahara, the desert among deserts. I am now on my way there. There are numerous camels awaiting tourists in Arfad, where the Sahara begins.
Welcome. Hamadi.
Name is name Hamadi.
Hamadi.
Yes.
Hamadi.
His name
Hamadi.
in Sahara.
Even in the 21st century, it isn't easy to cross the Sahara Desert without a camel.
잘 부탁한다.
This is Hamadi, my camel friend, who will be my feet for the day. He seems to be really aware of the camera.
You have a good jalaba. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's warm.
He has prepared a jalaba, traditional Moroccan attire that has an attached hood and a turban for my Saharan trek.
지역마다 조금씩 묶는 방법이 다른가 봐요.
With these two things, I will be able to protect my body from the harsh sandstorms and the drastic temperature differences of the day and night.
이제 사막에 들어갈 준비가 끝났습니다.
Finally, I get on the camel's back.
Okay. Hold on. 한 번에 일어나는 게 아니라 이렇게 울렁울렁하면서 쫙 올라옵니다. 저는 풍경이 좋은데요. 잘 부탁한다.
North African camels, including those in Morocco, are dromedaries, which have a single hump on its back. Including the height of the hump, he stands 2 meters tall. The view is much higher than that of a two-humped camel. Crossing the desert on a camel also means seeing things from the camel's perspective. Each time the camel takes a step, my vision moves up and down along with his. Ordinarily, a camel's stride is similar to that of a human. Perhaps this is why I feel relaxed and reliant, as if walking with an old friend with whom I don't need to share words. I'm walking with the camel into the Sahara landscape of my dreams. About 100 million years ago, the Sahara, which was submerged under the ocean, went through 2 stages of glacial eras and became weathered by the wind, making it into a Red Sea covered in sand. Not far along, my guide, Mohammed, shows me another way to enjoy the desert.
와, 엄청 어지러워요. 와, 정신없어. 야, 재밌는데요? 야, 이걸 굴러서 내려오다니.
This is the way to enjoy the desert according to Mohammed.
우와, 신발에 모래가 제 발만큼 들어있어요. 이럴 수가.
I discover a dung beetle that lives off camel droppings. The sand of the Sahara is so fine and soft that the dung beetle leaves tracks. The camel's shadow expand alongside me. This means the sun is setting. The moon prepares for the night in a hurry. We hurry to the campsite. There is a campsite in the middle of the desert that has been prepared for travelers.
Bravo! Bravo! Thank you. 드디어 도착을 했습니다.
There are some travelers who have arrived ahead of me.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the camp.
Yes. So, where you from?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Wow, Danish.
Danish, and you are from?
I'm Korea.
Korea.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Belgium.
You got the right dress.
Yes, I got this jalaba.
Yeah, everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Have you tried it?
The desert night deepens. The next morning,
사막의 이른 아침입니다. 닭이 울고 있네요. 곧 해가 뜨겠는데요.
there is something that I've wished to do without anyone interfering.
사막에서 바라보는 일출. 이 고요한 일출이 굉장히 사람을 생각하게 만드는데요.
I ponder over how the traces of so many people must have been left in this red sand, only to be helplessly erased. This present moment feels all the more precious because it is a landscape that will eventually vanish.